Welcome to Graceful Art Designs. Today I'm going to be painting a champagne coloured rose, and I've prepared the canvas by painting the background with some metallic, hypermetallic purple, metallic orange, and then some red over that. And then the champagne rose is going to actually be hypermetallic gold, although it's not exactly gold, it's more of a champagne colour. So I'll show you the colours. This is the champagne colour. It's number 818 in the Honig brand, hypermetallic. Metallic also in the Honig brand, number 804. And then the red is Pebeo, which is opaque. And this paint is actually called iridescent orange yellow. So I painted the purple on the canvas. The first layer, although it looked dark on the brush, but it dried very light, so I did another layer. And then I blended a bit of the purple and the red and the gold, the orange together. Put more orange down here and more red up there. I wanted this bit to be a little bit lighter. You can see this is how the gold comes out of the container. Very pale, very sort of champagne coloured. And I'm going to be painting this rose in a variety of different positions. I started with the outer layer, which is not how I would normally start, but well, there are so many different ways to start. But it's because I had the filbert brush, I had the paint on that brush, and I couldn't use that for the inner part, which is so tiny and so delicate that I really have to do that with this flat angle brush. So there will be a lot of the red showing, because this is a rose that is meant to be in the glowing light of the colours of the night. You can see I'm doing very little delicate strokes and then getting bigger as we go around. So I'll let that just dry for a minute while I re-examine the rose. So this is a different rose from my garden. It's not the same rose that I picked the last time, which was very sharp and pointed. That one was definitely a white rose. This one I think was meant to be a yellow rose, but there's something lacking in the soil that it came out this creamy colour. It's a very soft spiral of, roundish petals, and then they continue round, and then they were very round in the beginning, but now they're starting to curl over. So they're starting to look a little bit more pointy. So I think I've got this one right. And this was like a little... So that's going to be one coming down from here. And then I'll bring another one coming down from here. And one down at the bottom here, I think. So this is just the first coat. I'm going to have to see how this dries and then decide whether I will add touches of white and Naples yellow, because I didn't really want it to be a totally metallic painting. I do want it to have a soft look. And for the third rose, I want it from this angle, so that you'll only see this 2/3 of the rose and not that side. And it's in the stalk is in the wrong position here. So I'm going to have to just move it to over here. And this one I will start with the center. I can hardly see what I'm doing. Just lightly touching the brush to form that spiral. Lightly touching the brush on the canvas. And then here they start to come out a little bit. Petals. And here. There. And there. I need to step back and look at it. Yep. So the way I like to paint rose petals is that I like to take the colour from the paintbrush from the outside and take the paint in to the centre, towards where the stem is coming from. In this case, the stem will be coming from there. So This is a miniature rose because it grows in a pot in the garden, and because it is miniature as well to match the size of the rose, but very dark. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to paint very dark leaves all around the rose, and they're quite pointy and quite longish with kind of serrated edge. So what I'll do is and the stalk is green, so I'll just paint the stalk in over this gold. And it's not one line, I'm just moving the brush along to give it its shape. And then this one will come here, through here. And then I'll start, now the leaves will be, some will be hanging this way, some the other way. And again, there are 5 or 3, and it's very pretty the way they grow. So I'll make a little stalk off here. Try and make it as fine as I can. And then off that stalk we'll have the leaves. So I'll make a center. You can see I'm starting to fill up the background with leaves. And there's a 3-leaf branch, there's a 3-leaf, there's a 5-leaf. Here we'll do another 5-leaf because as you go further down they do seem to have more of the 5-leaf ones. And some of the leaves don't have to be complete. You can have a side view of a leaf, or you can have a leaf that's half, turned, or just not fully grown yet, or blown away. Difficult painting upside down. And they'll need a second layer because it's sap green and it is transparent. I wanted to create a sense of the wonder and amazement I always feel every time I look at nature, because it is beautiful beyond description. And often we look at the rose but we forget to look at the leaves, and the leaves themselves are truly beautiful. I mean, if I examine each leaf, the perfection, the serrated edges, the fine lines, the fine veins, the way they branch off into threes, and with this tiny, very thin stalk, the lovely green of the actual stalk, and yet sometimes the little fine stalks in between seem a little brown compared to the main stalk, which is very green. But all in all, I'm going to add a few more buds here and there. It just depends on how much you love it, and I really love it. So if you really love something, you're going to put your heart and soul into it. If you just have a passing interest in it, maybe you won't. I'm going to put buds all over, because I think it'll add to it. The painting is looking a lot fuller now. I still have to obviously go back and put the green bud, but first I'm going to go over the petals of the roses, because the first layer is very transparent, and I'm hoping that this will improve it enough to help me make my decision as to whether I'm going to leave it just in this gold. It is a champagne color, whereas here it's looking decidedly gold. But perhaps in the morning, when it's had time to dry, or with the second layer, it will look a lot more champagne. So that's what I'll do now. And it's quite slippery paint. Always goes to the back. That's my painting for now, and I'll see how it dries by the morning. I want to see if the colours still look as intense in the morning as they do now, or if they will be a little bit more subdued. whether I will need to add a layer of white and a bit of Naples yellow mixed together to make a creamy colour, because right now they are very, very bright. The painting has dried very nicely and it really is very pretty. It definitely is a champagne colour, not really gold, but it's closer to the Amsterdam pearlescent yellow. Darker in reality than it appears to be on the video. So I think it's going to look better if I've mixed the white with the Naples yellow and just made this lovely creamy colour, and it takes very little Naples yellow to make the creamy colour and a lot of white to be just curling around. So just using the very edge of this flat angle brush, making the curls until I reach a place where I think I'm out of centre. It's quite a large centre, and then I'll start making the side petals, which are quite roundish, like that. And another one goes out behind that one. I'm already liking that much better, and you can still see the champagne gold showing through underneath in the layers in between. And I'm thinking perhaps that's enough. That's all I need to give it that champagne look. Perhaps I don't need to go over the white mixture. The buds as well now, and see how that transforms them, and whether I need to do a layer of gold over them. Add something like gold or highlights after the main colour. This way I've done it the other way around, and I think it's looking great. Anytime I'm adding some highlights of emerald green to the leaves that are closest to the flower, because there is sort of in that light, I've just got to get to the right angle and paint it the same way that I painted the flower, the leaves originally. So like here, I don't want to cover the whole leaf though, just part of it. Yeah, and that's probably more than I intended. Just kind of the centre. I think the touches of emerald green have just given that extra little bit of sparkle, and I've got a little gold on my brush, and I'm going to add it to some of the leaves close by, not too many, just again to give a little touch of that glow, and maybe even on some of the emerald greens. So once the emerald green dries, it goes quite a dull colour. And so just here and there. And you don't want to overdo it, because then your painting will just be overworked. So let's just see. This one's a bit dull here. I mean, you do have sort of the ghost leaves that are in the background that I had to add a little bit of purple down here because I could see the canvas showing through. And with a bit of gold on some of the leaves and on some of the outer petals, I think that is now definitely complete. And they definitely look like champagne coloured roses. So I hope you enjoyed it. I'd love to hear from my viewers. What do you think? What should I have done differently? What would you do? Please like and comment and subscribe if you haven't already. Bye for now.